steel balls are another product that we started carrying as a result of people working with balls and steel spheres and magnetic fields. Then it became something that a lot of people just needed for a variety of things, and we're a source for the steel balls. One of the things that you'll see is these are carbon steel, and we have some very large ones, and they are solid. All of our steel balls are solid. You can look on the hollow sphere page and you'll see the hollow ones that we have, but these are solid and how they bounce together like this. One of the things that you can look for is we have a couple of different grades of this large one. Everything else we just has a really nice polished finish on it, and most of the smaller ones are nickel plated. On these, you can see that these are 2.5-inch diameter, and they are carbon steel, and when you bounce them together, they are quite solid. There's no question about this. They weigh about 2.5 pounds a piece. People have used these to weld them on top of fence posts and just repaint it or fix it some other way, and they've got a solid steel thing for that. Other people have used it in a variety of experiments. Some have even used it as cannonballs, launching it out of an air cannon at different structures, testing to see the amount of kinetic energy it takes to break through concrete walls or wooden walls and stuff. Kind of an interesting experiment there. Another use for these steel balls is working with our erector kits, and some of the people will get them smaller sized, roughly 1-inch diameter and smaller, and use them with the erector sets and building things with it. Another fun use for the balls is using the little balls to demonstrate induced magnetism. Now I've got this gigantic 3-inch diameter, 3-inch thick N50 magnet, and when I hold it up next to the ceiling, these are just regular steel balls, and I hold them up next to the grid, you can see that the balls are having a magnetic field induced in them that allow them to stick to the track, but it's only because the field coming off of this magnet is going to this steel, turning it into a magnet and turning the track into a magnet, so both are attracted to each other, and only when you get the magnet a certain distance away, and you can tell how far this is, that this is holding them in place with the magnetic field. Move them completely, and down they come. So there's many different ways of using these balls. One of the things that I want to let you know is we also carry stainless steel balls. Now the stainless balls are not magnetic. They're the grade of stainless 304 that is not magnetic. Even on this really large magnet, there is some degree of magnetic attraction to them, and you can feel just a little bit with this, but not enough to even keep it on and to pick it up. We can pick it up just a little bit, but it just falls off with the slightest effort. So even though it's stainless, it still has some degree of magnetism with a 7 or 8,000 Gauss magnetic field. Hope this helps you understand a little bit better about the steel balls that we have. We have many different sizes, and if you don't see what you want, we can always order it, but keep in mind, sometimes minimum quantity on steel balls can be very high, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 units. One of the other interesting things that we have with our steel balls has to do with our extremely small steel balls. I've talked with the manufacturers and been able to find out that the smallest ones they can make are 0.6 millimeters in diameter. These are 0.6 millimeter steel balls that you can see here, and we can use the old experiment like we used in elementary school, putting a comb through our hair and building up a charge. I used to have more hair back then, but now we're going to see how much charge we can build up. And watch how this picks up on these steel balls. Hold it over the steel balls, and you can see the steel balls jumping on the comb, and look in between the grooves of the comb and you'll see the little balls embedded there, and tap them off. Very interesting experiment with steel balls and static electricity. Hope this helps you understand a few things about our steel balls and what you might can do with them. Look forward to answering any questions you may have.